Christmas Oguri has just been released in global, and you're wondering what's the best way to build it to win the next CM8 or the Sagittarius Cup. We will discuss all you need to know starting from the builds, recovery skills that you need to take, and the stats recommendation. Let's start off with the build first. There are two options for the Sagittarius Cup. Since the last spurt of Nakayama 2500-meter turfs starts at the end of the straight right here, we have two options where we want to activate our Christmas Ogre's unique. The first one is the middle leg or straight right before the last spurt, or a bit later on the corner after the last spurt. The first build is using middle leg and straight recovery skills. These are Gorman or Hydrate plus straight recovery skills like straightaway recovery. The second build is relying on the innate triple sevens. This will proc a bit later after the final spurt on the corner right here. This leads up to a question on which build do you want to go for? Ultimately, this decision will be each player preference. If you like consistency, then triple sevens will always give you the exact location for your unique to proc. But delayed activation means that you might not get the full effect since it's about 56 meter further from the last bird start. If you want to gamble and get the full effect, you can go with the middle leg and straight recovery skills. The benefit of going the middle leg and straight recovery skills is when it lines up perfectly and just hits, you just straight up wins. But again, you are gambling because the activation rate to line up this unique perfectly is about 30%-ish, considering there's 3 straight in the game. You're hoping that either your hydrate or straightaway recovery skill will proc near the area before the last spurt start, so it will take in the full effect and have a very strong speed carryover. Personally, I would build my Ogre with the middle leg and straight skills and just go full gambling because if it hits, I will just win. But to back this up, I will build another ace that is really stable. This will be my end closer, which is probably Gold Chip or Narita Taishin. If you want to make your Oguri more stable and consistent with the 777 build, I see no problem at all with it as well. Okay, let's talk about the recovery skills that we will be taking for the build. Since Oguri's unique need 3 recovery skills at least, should we take more than 3 recovery skills? I would say no, and we just need to take 3 recovery skills, because that recovery skills could be another speed skill. But it is really important to have a very high width so you can pass the width check, which I will explain later on. This only applies for the common build on the 3 recovery skill with triple sevens, because with high width, you will roughly still have around 17% chance for your unique to proc. On the other hand, the straight and middle leg skill build, I highly recommend getting 4 recovery skill, because it is more on the gambly side. The only downside of getting 4 recovery skills is that it messes up your timing of Ogre Unique, and your Ogre Unique will just end up as a middle leg speed skill. Although with this, I still think it has better chance of winning than late activation proc with triple seven, because you can easily lose to an end closer with the triple seven build. But again, this all comes down to your own preference. The recovery skill itself that we'll be taking is a combination of these skills. It's corner recovery, straightaway recovery, Gorman or hydrate, triple sevens, and lastly, race planner and preferred position. Race planner is hard to get, hydrate and triple seven is innate to Ogre, so you will definitely grab either one of these skill or both depending on your build. Corner recovery will come from card hints like Kita-san Black or King Hollow Speed card. Straightaway recovery can also come from Kita-san Black as well. You could also inherit one of these two unique and it will count as recovery skill, either Pure Heart from Super Creek or U equals MA square from Agnes Tachyon. Pure Heart will give you 3.5% stamina recovery, which is roughly about 140 stamina and procs anywhere in the middle leg. Agnes Tachyon Unique gives you only 1.5% stamina recovery, or its equivalent to a white scale. It also gives you a bit of speed boost, but it is a bit too small to be relevant, and this requires you to be on the third or the fourth position. Assuming your Ogre may be the lucky pacer at the first position, this skill will not activate. For the other inherit, this will be angling and scheming from Saiyan Sky. You would want to build your Christmas Ogre to steal the first position, as angling and scheming is the only reliable acceleration skill that will activate for the pace chasers and front runners. The best Ogre will have groundwork to have a chance at taking the lucky pace at the start, because we are assuming that the lobbies are not front heavy and pace chasers will be competing for the lucky pace. After that, you need to grab 3 recovery skills for her unique proc, grab angling and scheming, and the rest could be filled with middle leg speed skills to help you keep the lead. You could also take No Stopping Me as a failsafe, or if you have around ways Suzuka set up calm, but I don't think this is too necessary. Oh, and also for the recovery skill, I recommend only getting white version of these skills. Gold version of these skills like Gorman will be a waste of skill points. As you already have 3 recovery skills anyway, this equates to about 180 stamina. Her unique will also give you 3.5% stamina recovery, which is about 140 stamina. This alone already gives you a total of 320 stamina. The recommended stamina for the CM is about 1100 for pace chasers, so you can understand her stats by a lot. If you grab the gold version of the skill, you could even understand it even further, like roughly 600 stamina, but it's still better to spend the skill points for other speed skills. Let's talk about the stats for Oguri. As always, 1200 on speed is non-negotiable. Stamina, you can understand by a lot depending on your recovery skills. If you grab 3 white recovery skills, you can go something like 780 stamina. This will let you free up your tech from needing to run a stamina card like Super Greed. Power, get it as high as you can as usual. Getting above 700 is highly recommended. Guts, try to get it over 400 as usual as well. The hidden stat boost for the next CM is stamina plus guts, so get at least a combination of stamina over 601 and guts over 301 to get all the hidden stat boosts. Let's talk about wit, which is the most important stat for Christmas Ogre. Here is the wit table and the chance to proc 3 recovery skill at each increment of wit. At 500 wit, you can see here we have 55.1% to proc all 3 skills, which means your Ogre half of the race will be bricked. And that's why we would like to aim for wit around 800 or 900, where the chance to proc the recovery skills is at least 70%. This means out of 10 races, your Ogre will tank 3 losses. If you get the wit higher, obviously you have a higher chance of skill activation, but it will be really hard to reach this because Ogre herself doesn't have any innate wit bonus on her kit. This comes down to the recommended deck. The recommended build is 2 speed, 3 wit card, and 1 Rico. The reason we're running with max build is of course to hit easily the wit requirement. Speed card will be Kita-san and Sweep Tosho, or King Hollow for the corner recovery hints. And as for the wit cards, it will be a combination of any SR wit cards that you have. For example, Fukukitaru for right-handed, plus 2 other wit cards for their hints or training effects like Marvel Sunday, Major Dober, Nice Nature. If you can borrow Fine Motion as well for the Speed Star, it will be really nice. As for the Parent Spark, it can be a mixed combination of stamina and power spark. I will leave these for you to adjust depending on your own spark and borrows. Just keep in mind, Ogre also have 15% training bonus on stamina, so it's pretty easy to hit the required stamina. We've been talking a lot about Ogre as space chasers, and some of you might also think, why not run Ogre as an closer then? Yes, this build is totally fireable. The only difference is you will have to drop hydrate for standing by or after school stroll. The thing is, Encloser Oguri is just harder to build, because the hints for these recovery skills are hard to get. On top of that, you also need to get straightaway spurt. It is definitely more for the try-hard people, but yes, it is viable and is definitely also stronger. For the inherit, you can grab Major Dober's unique. I don't think you really need to inherit Palm as well, as you already have a ton source of acceleration from Survey Spurt, her own unique, Not Stopping Me, and Dober's unique. The other inherit can be any speed skill or just parents with great affinity for your hint sparks. I hope this video will help you build a beast ogre that will win the Sagittarius Cup. Anyways, thanks for watching and as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one.